Hello guys, it's your boy Trace and I'm here with a new video for you guys today. If you're new to the channel, do not forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss none of the videos that I post. With that being said, let's hop into this video and let's see what this video is all about. Because I've been so ready to see this. So ready. Let's go.
So it is being called the biggest political comeback in American history. President-elect Trump is on his way back to the White House. Earlier, he flipped Michigan, completing his sweep of the 3 blue wall states.
Wow.
And Trump is leading in other key battlegrounds that are still too close to call. Republicans are already set to take control of the Senate, and the Fox News Decision Desk estimates that the GOP has a slight edge in the House as well, as states continue to count ballots. Here's the president-elect speaking about his landslide victory.
Landslide.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. This campaign has been so historic in so many ways. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good.
And
Listen, I gotta say, that is the biggest comeback ever because he had so much thrown at him with the court cases, you know, all these big fines, you know, the assassination attempt, and he did not give up once. He kept campaigning, he kept going to rallies, he did podcasts, made phone calls, hopping on and off planes. He did not give up. This is the biggest, I mean by far the biggest comeback ever.
make a big difference. I have spoken a lot, so I'm going to give all of these lovely people who we want to hear from a chance to talk about the victory. Almost a red wave. You could call it, this is the red wave you've been waiting for?
That's what I predicted the last time. I was talking about this election.
Yeah, right. It was a slow roll. Wait.
So I spoke to my mom this morning,
How's she
and
doing?
she was very upset.
Okay.
And I told her it's like the lyrics to that great song. You can't always get what you want, but sometimes if you try, you get what you need.
Well, I love the Who.
Yeah. And the country needed Donald Trump back in office because the Democrats had gone crazy. Let's think about how crazy they had gone. They were flying Venezuelans into the country and then just putting them in cities. Now, when they started doing that, I started to think they are going to lose. They started making genders up and started putting windmills all over our beaches. They started printing money, giving it to Detroit. They'd open up factories in Mexico to build these stupid cars nobody wanted. They started emptying prisons. So you're looking at this stuff and they're going crazy. And then they're telling everybody everything's great. And Joe Biden's fine. Joe Biden's falling down. He can't remember where he is. And
I love how Jesse called it for what it is, because they were saying, you know, Joe Biden's fine, everything's good. Then debate night comes, then you're like, they just said that he was, and yeah, something isn't adding up. Everybody's seen it at that point that Joe Biden's health wasn't 100%. They seen it for themselves, and they made a decision. And just all this other crazy stuff that's going on, people did not want to deal with it at all. People wanted change, but not that way. They wanted another way to make their lives easier, keep more money in their pockets, be able to support themselves and their families better. That's what they wanted.
they weren't even good at the cover-up. Remember, you know, my daughter Gigi, when she hides, she goes like this, and she thinks you can't see her. That's how bad the cover-up was.
Because he's funny.
It was just so blatant. And then they're telling you he's great, and then Donald Trump wins because he told the truth. And he listened to the American people. It's not that hard. He listened, he told the truth, and they just lied. They said everything was great, border secure, you're doing fantastic, and people just got sick of it. He is now going to be president during some great times. He's going to be president during the 250th anniversary of this country.
That'll be a party.
He's going to be the president during the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, the World Cup. So we're going to get everybody together. I hope we can get things straightened out for this country. And it's a good day. It's morning in America again. It was beautiful. It was sunny. And I spent a lot of time outdoors.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
All right,
Good
let's go to
morning.
Judge Janine.
Well, they told us that he was unqualified to be president, and they tried to prove it over.
I love how they said that, and then look how the cards are reversed. It's crazy how everything took place, They did not expect this at all. And it's quite funny that they did it because he was listening to the people. He was understanding what their concerns were. That is the difference. He was listening to the people. And the things that the people were saying, he was saying he was going to fix. That is the difference.
Over again by impeaching him and then indicting him and then convicting him. And by the way, did you notice in the last month, no Democrat has been saying, and he's been guilty, well, he was found guilty of 34 felony counts. They knew that the American people didn't buy it. So in spite of all the things they threw at him, he won the popular vote, the electoral vote, and then they said, he's got to unify America. The way I saw it last night, when he came out on that stage, America was behind him. 77 million Americans were behind him. They were +7 in the blacks, +6 in the Hispanic community, +10 in the youth community, and +2 in women. These were people who believed in him in spite of everything that they threw against him. And, Americans didn't feel at home in America. They were told that we have to have drag queen story hour for your children in school. And they were told that, if your kids want to transition, we don't really have to tell you about that. And by the way, everybody coming through that border, we're vetting them when they weren't. And we had murders and rapes and sexual abuse because they didn't do their job. Forget about the fact that we're a sovereign nation. But when you open the doors, at least check out who they were. And it was over and over again.
Yeah, the people wanted to go back to where their lives used to be. They did not want to continue with anything that was going on. They wanted a better economy. They wanted more border security. They wanted an easier life to live. People have been struggling for quite some time. They've been seeing other things happen where money's been sent here, things going this way, when we the people really need it. They want to make their lives easier for themselves and their families and the people around them. They are tired of seeing each other struggle. When people go to the stores, they do have a conversation. See how expensive this is? Or, man, we need to get this back down lower. They have conversations. The people's voices have finally been heard.
Crimes being committed, letting them out of jail. And don't underestimate COVID. There was a COVID carryover in this vote. None of us forget what it was like when you couldn't go to church and you had to be 6 feet apart, and we couldn't talk about it because they got rid of our First Amendment rights. And it went on and on. And this was an America that said, we don't buy into it. I'm not into this privileged stuff. All my friends are black and Hispanic, and my family is this color and that color. We don't see race the way they did. And they voted for that man.
In 2020, Biden said, I'm the normal candidate. I'm like, return to normal. And in a way, I feel like Donald Trump did that this time because the left had gone so far left. He said, we could return to some common sense policies here. And he won so big in the Electoral College and the popular vote that now the Democrats don't know what to complain about.
It's a good point. They went from a Diddy party to a pity party.
Ooh.
And you're absolutely right. What's great about last night is that it was definitive. No matter who wins, be happy that it was kind of resolute and it was quick. There's really no gray area here, where either side can call out one thing or another. The American people went from wanting something to deciding something. There wasn't, and I'm not sure if this is working. I'm not sure what I want to do. It was, we know it's time. We have to do something. And you guys mentioned all the reasons why. But it is like leaving a bad relationship. People take years to get out of a bad relationship. They make excuses for it, and they go like, I don't know if I should go, and you want to go, but you don't. But then there's that time when you decide and you say, this is it. And I think that was what was going on last night. I felt like it was like, that's why today, when you're walking around, it's so calm outside.
It's so quiet. Yeah.
It's really...
He couldn't have said it better. The people have spoken, and they want change. They wanted change. They've been wanting, and now they said, this is what I have to do. They made that ultimate decision based on things that were going on. They did not want to continue with it. They did not want to continue to struggle. They wanted a better life for themselves and their families and the people around them. They did not want to continue with it. They see what's going on. And now their voices have finally been heard. They wanted change.
Because, sometimes a really solid loss is good for you, because then you yourself can move on. It's why I was grateful Trump went and campaigned in New York, just to get more votes. You may not get the Electoral College, but you got maybe a couple 100,000 votes. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. I love how the media hacks are saying how the history will look back at this moment to make sense of this night. And their favorite phrase is, books will be written. Books will... No, you're not getting out of it that easily. You're not going to leave it to the historians or just hacks like you, but 30 years later. You have to self-reflect now, or you will never learn. You have to figure out, how did you miss this? You have to figure out, could it be you? It can't be 70 million racists. Scarborough calling Black and Hispanic men racist. It's like, maybe it's you, Scarborough. Maybe it's not.
I can simply, easily answer that. All you got to do is look at what's going on right now currently, and look at what's been going on previously, and then there's a significant difference between the two. And then just listen to the people. Anytime that you hear the people are focused on stuff and people are saying they don't want this, they don't want that, they're tired of this and they're tired of that, all you got to do is listen to the people. You hear the people out, you let them know what you can do to fix it, people are happy. That's all you have to do. Just listen to the people.
America, and I came up with this phrase, you can't get bees with vinegar. What do you say to that?
That's fascinating.
Yes, yeah, it's better with honey. I find it that the media Democrat complex being so shocked and surprised that people react negatively to being treated poorly. Yeah. If you call everybody names, racist, sexist, transphobic, they're going to become euphobic. And then you look at their negative behavior, go, see, they are racist. No, we just don't like you anymore. So I would love to see some self-reflection. I do a lot, as you know, I do a lot of self-reflecting all the time. And I know that people are going to say we should show some grace and be humble. It's hard to be humble and graceful to people that call you a Nazi. I'm doing my best. It's hard to believe that they're calling for a peaceful transition after calling everyone misogynist, racist, speciest, fascist, convicted felon, but I'm going to try. But I'm doing a little gloating.
The historians better hurry.
Yes.
Remember, Michael Beschloss said on MSNBC that if Trump wins, the historians will be banned.
I already imprisoned one in my basement.
Jessica,
and that's what it is. I feel like that they keep trying to strike fear in people, saying that, oh, you're going to do this, you shouldn't have done that, you got to worry about this, you got to worry about that. But in the end, people have already seen Donald Trump be a president. I just feel like they're trying to strike fear in people for no reason, because Donald Trump was already a president before. People are comparing how life was back then to how life is right now. And they notice there's a significant difference between the two. They want to go to how times were back then. And I know they could keep saying that Donald Trump's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. But people are more focused on how their lives can be better and how they can get back to where things used to be. That is where their main focus is at.
Time to reflect as well. We had some comments from you throughout the 24 hours. Where are you right now?
I am here. Living unburdened by what has been and with the promise of the future. Congratulations to President-elect Donald Trump and to those of you at the table who were supportive. I think that there have been a good amount of Democrats who have understood what this was, which was not only a repudiation of the Biden administration, which Vice President Harris is part of, but the way the Democratic Party has been doing business the last two cycles. And a lot of the lessons that should have been learned from Hillary Clinton's loss were not learned now. And the 2020 election was an aberration election because it was a COVID one. And I think that you're right, Judge, about this being leftover from COVID, but not about people thinking about lockdowns, but about inflation. that was one of the residues of all of this, and that telling people, well, now it's 2.5%, so you should be thankful for that, is not enough when their necessities still cost more. The 70% on the wrong track, those are on almost impossible threshold to surmount. But I've been thinking about this kind of in two buckets, that we had policy failures and we had personality failures. So policy failures, I think, particularly on the cost of living, inflation, and especially on the border, and that there was never a good answer for that. And I'm not saying it would be impossible to have made the gap, certainly she would never have been on top, but we could have made the gap smaller on that by just being an honest broker about what happened. What was the rationale for?
That was the issue, is, the people wanted things to be different. They were speaking out multiple times to have things different. They wanted change. The way that life is right now, people are struggling to even put food on the table. They don't want to struggle to do that anymore. They shouldn't have to worry about doing that. They should be able to live comfortably. Everything should be affordable for them. But that's the issue. Is right now they're looking at it and they're just saying, I don't want to live like this anymore.
Pulling back a lot of Trump's executive actions and not doing anything. Yep. And then on personality failures, there was a prison guard who was being interviewed this morning, voted Clinton, Biden, now Trump. Why? Well, I don't think that the party thinks good things about me. I don't think that the party thinks that I'm a decent person. And when you constantly harp on, and I am guilty of this myself, well, the college educated, well, what is that saying about everyone who doesn't have that kind of degree? And now it's not just white working class, and Bernie Sanders released a scathing statement about all of this, but it's now black working class and Latino working class.
It's just the working class.
What I love about the five is how they can all just come together. They might share differences, but they're able to explain why they share differences and all still have a good time. Like, that's what I like about them, is they could just sit there, come together, and still talk, have a good time, but they still share different beliefs. That's what it's all about. I feel like everything is just so divided right now when it shouldn't be. I feel like people should be coming more together, even though you share different beliefs, but still just have a decent conversation and just sit back and just laugh about it in the end. That's what it's all about. Is you guys got to think, like, at the end of the day, we are all human. We're all supposed to stick together, be together, and support one another. And the five shows a good example of that. Jessica shares a different belief than Jesse. Jesse believes in one thing, Jessica believes in the other. But at the end of the day, they still sit together and have a decent conversation without one, getting mad at this and the other getting mad at that. They still come together as one, getting along, talking about the differences, but in the end of the day, still sitting at the same table. And I feel like people now, if you support something different, they're just like, oh, yeah, you stay over there. It shouldn't be that way. We should be coming together, supporting one another, helping one another. We're the United States of America. We got this. We stand together, even though we share different beliefs. We stand together, we help one another, support one another, and listen, we can still sit together and have a great time. Let me know what you guys think about today's video in the comment section. That'll be a wrap for today's video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.